Good morning students, welcome back. This is a new lecture in the series of chapter Simple Harmonic Motion. In the last lecture, we discussed about the oscillations of a spring block system. We discussed two cases inside it. One is horizontal spring block system and the other one was vertical spring block system. And then we finally concluded that both the systems will perform SHM, and then we derived the time period of their oscillation, which comes out to be T is equal to 2 pi under root of m by k for both the cases, for horizontal spring block system as well as for vertical spring block system. And now under the same heading, oscillations of a spring block system, we are going to discuss another concept, which is combinations of springs. So if we talk about, there can be combinations of springs, right? Instead of one spring and one mass m attached with it, there can be multiple springs attached to a single mass m. So there are two cases possible inside it. One is series combination of springs and the other one is parallel combination of springs. So first of all, we are going to see series combination of springs. So please write down case 1, series combination of springs. Series combination of the springs. Series combination of the springs. So let's say there are two springs which are connected in series as I am drawing there. This is again a rigid wall which is fixed, and this is a surface, right? So they are fixed. Now let's say there are two springs which are connected in series as shown like this. This is one spring and the other spring is connected to it like this, and the other end of the other spring, of the second spring, is connected to a block of mass m like this. So if we talk about the ends of the first spring, one end is connected to the wall and the other end is connected to the second spring. And similarly, if we talk about the second spring, its first end is connected to the second end of the first spring and its other end is connected to the block of mass m. Let's say the spring constant of this spring is K1, and let's say the spring constant of the second spring is K2, and let's say the length is L1. The natural length of first spring is L1 and the natural length of second spring is L2. So this is the picture, and right now the system is in equilibrium. Both the springs are in their natural lengths. There is no elongation or compression in the springs as of now, and the system is at rest and in equilibrium, right? So fine. So now what we do, we hold this block and we take it forward by a small displacement x, right? So let us draw that position. This is the second position. This is the equilibrium position of the block. So let me write here equilibrium position. So this is equilibrium position of the block. Fine. And now I am displacing this block through a small displacement x. So let's say the block is displaced by a small displacement x like this. Now what will happen when I displace this block by a small displacement x? Both these springs will get elongated. There will be some extension in this string and some extension in this string. And because the spring constants of both the springs are different, and therefore the elongations in the the springs will be different, right? So let us say the elongation in the spring 1 is x1 and the elongation in spring 2 is x2. Fine. So let's say this is when the spring 1 was in its natural length and now it has got some extension in its length, right? So let's say this is x1, the elongation or extension in the length of spring 1, right? This end has now come here because the spring 1 has got elongated by length x1, right? And now the second spring also has got elongated and its one end is connected to this point and other end is connected to the block. So there will be some extension in spring 2 also, right? And this complete, right? Okay, let me draw this position. See, if you see this position up to here, this length from here till here, this is equal to L1 plus L2. The length of spring 1 plus length of spring 2. So this length is equal to L1 plus L2. And now the block has got displaced through a small displacement x. Right? So this length from here till here, this must be equal to x. Right? The elongation in the spring. Sorry, the displacement of this block n is x, and therefore from this end to this end, this distance should be x. Agree? Fine. And now this, because of the extension in spring 1, this extension is equal to x1 and therefore there will be some extension. The block has got displaced, there will be some length in it x1 and there is some extension in spring 2 which is x2, right? So this length x should be equal to x1 plus x2. This should be equal to x1 plus x2. The extension in spring 1 plus the extension in spring 2. So I can write one equation, x is equal to x1 plus x2. Please note this carefully and please observe this carefully, right? So this is extension in spring 1 and this is the end to which spring 2 is connected and its other end is connected to block of mass m, and from this position to this position the total displacement is x and this should be equal to the extension in spring 1 plus extension in spring 2. Fine. So this is spring 2 and this is spring 1. Now because spring 1 has got elongated by length x1, there will be a restoring force in it. For example, I am a spring and someone has elongated me by displacement x. So I will apply a restoring force equal to kx to restore my original position. This end and by this end I will apply the force kx and I will try to restore my original position. So what will happen? This spring will pull the wall towards itself by force kx to restore its original length, and similarly the spring 1 will apply a force equal to kx1 because the extension is x1. It will apply the force kx1 on spring 2 to restore its original length. And similarly, if we talk about spring 2, because it has got elongated by x2, what will happen? It will also apply a restoring force kx2 to restore its original or natural length. So it will pull spring 1 towards itself with force kx2, right? It will pull the spring 1 with force kx2 to restore its original length. And similarly, it will also pull the block of mass m with force kx2 to restore its original length, right? Now you can see at this point these two forces must be same. By Newton's third law, because the force that the spring 1 will apply on spring 2, the spring 2 will also apply the same force on spring 1. So these two forces must be balanced. So our next equation comes out to be kx1 is equal to kx2. Fine. And this force kx2 is responsible for acceleration of the block. Right? Now if we draw the FBD of this block, what will happen? There will be mg force in the downward direction and there will be a normal reaction from the surface in the upward direction equal to n. N and mg will be balanced, n is equal to mg, and so forces in the vertical direction are balanced, so there will be no motion in the vertical direction, right? Now this force kx2 is acting towards left and is unbalanced, so it will result in a net force towards left, and this force will give rise to the acceleration of the block, right? So we will have ma, F is equal to ma is equal to kx2, right? So the force acting on the block, I have written it as mass into acceleration of the block, and this is equal to kx2, right? So now from here, from this, let's say this is equation 1, this is equation 2, and this is equation 3. So from equation 3, A is equal to K by M into x2. Now please observe this equation carefully and tell me whether this equation corresponds to the general equation of SHM or not. Please observe this and tell me. So few of you will say that yes, this equation corresponds to the equation of SHM, and few of you will say no, this equation does not correspond to the general equation of SHM. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is that this equation does not correspond to the general equation of SHM. Why? Because in general equation of SHM, acceleration of the block should be directly proportional to its acceleration from the mean, to its displacement. It is directly proportional to its displacement from the mean position. Acceleration of the block should be directly proportional to the displacement of the block from the mean position. So right now the displacement of the block from its mean position is x. So this a should be proportional to x, but this a is now proportional to x2. So this equation does not correspond to the general equation of SHM, right? So what we will do, we will try to convert this x2, or we will try to write this x2 in terms of x, right? So what can we do? We want this x2 in terms of x. So we can use this equation and this equation. From equation 2, you can substitute the value of x1 in this equation. So from equation 2, you can write x1 is equal to kx2 upon k. Sorry, this is k1 and this is k2, right? And this is k2. I am so sorry, please correct this. Here this is the spring constant of spring 1 and this is the spring constant of spring 2, and here we will have spring constant of spring 2. I hope you have understood this. So here we will have k2 x2 upon k1. So let's say this is equation, let's say this is equation 4 and this is equation 5. Now we will use equation 5 in equation 1, right? So I need actually more space, so let me write here. So now using equation 5 in equation 1, using equation 5 in equation 1, we get what? We will have x is equal to k2 x2 upon k1 plus x2. So from here, can you find out the value of x2? You can take out x2 So it will be K2 plus K1 upon K1. Right? And from here the value of x2 comes out to be K1x upon K1 plus K2. Right? And now if you use this equation, let's say this is equation 6. Now using equation 6 in equation 4. Using equation 6 in equation 4, we get A is equal to K by M, and this will be what will be the value of this? This is K2, right? A will be K2x2 upon M. So from here A will be equal to K2 upon M multiplied by the value of x2. Value of x2 is this, so it will be K1x upon K1 plus K2. Right? So from here the value of A comes out to be K1 K2 upon K1 plus K2 into M, and this is x. So you can see that now the acceleration of the block is proportional to x. So this equation corresponds to the general equation of SHM. Please note down till here, and then I am going to erase this part so that we can take the derivation forward. I hope you have already copied this. So now I am going to erase this thing. Now if we compare this equation on comparing with A is equal to omega square x, right? On comparing with A is equal to omega square x, we will have omega square is equal to K1 K2 upon K1 plus K2 into M. So this is our equation number 7, right? Let's say this is equation number 7. So from here we have find out the value of omega square, right? So this is our series combination of spring. Now what I do, I replace these two springs with a single spring that will be called as equivalent spring of length L1 plus L2 and whose spring constant is K. Now I am going to replace this series combination of two springs with a single spring whose length is L1 plus L2 and whose spring constant is K. So the picture will be something like this. This is an equivalent spring of length L1 plus L2, and there will be a block of mass M attached to it. This is L1 plus L2 and its spring constant is K, right? So now if we see what will be the time period of this spring mass system. If you remember the last derivation that we did, then what is the value of omega square in that derivation? Please refer your notes and tell me what will be the value of omega square from that derivation. The value of omega square was K by M, right? Where K is the mass of this, where K is the spring constant of this spring, and mass M is this mass M attached to the spring. So now if you compare this equation 7 and 8, what do you get? On comparing 7 and 8, what do you get? Omega square will be equal to omega square. This M and this M will get cancelled out, and therefore this is K equivalent. Let me write this is K equivalent, right? So on comparing 7 and 8, K equivalent comes out to be K1 K2 upon K1 plus K2, right? Or you can write, in other words, this expression can be written as 1 upon K equivalent is equal to 1 upon K1 plus 1 upon K2. So now all in all, what do we get from here, right? If we have a series combination of springs, we can replace that combination with a equal to the sum of length of all the springs and its spring constant is given by this relation. The sum of reciprocal of spring constant of each spring will be equal to reciprocal of the spring constant of the equivalent spring. Right? This is a bit complicated, but please try to understand it. If you do not understand it, please watch the video again and again. You have this advantage of watching the video again and again and repeat the lecture, and you can understand this once you look at this carefully. Right? So we can replace this entire system of series combination of springs with a single equivalent spring whose length will be equal to L1 plus L2 and whose spring constant is given by this relation. And what does this relation say? It says that the reciprocal of spring constant, that the sum of the reciprocal of spring constant of individual springs is equal to the reciprocal of the spring constant of the equivalent spring. Right? Please note this down as I dictated in your notes so that your notes are completed. Right? So please note down this derivation and then we shall move forward to the parallel combination of springs. Please note this down and then we shall move forward to the parallel combination of springs. The parallel combination of springs is a bit easy case as compared to the series combination of springs, and you will easily understand it. So now I am going to raise this because I feel that we have already completed by pausing the video, and so now we are going to discuss parallel combination of springs. So I am going to erase this all. So now we are going to discuss case 2, which is parallel combination of springs. This is case 2. Parallel combination of springs. Right? So let's say we have a parallel combination of springs as this is a block of mass m and two springs are connected in parallel as shown. This is one spring and this is another spring. Right? The spring constant of this spring is K1 and the spring constant of this spring is K2. Right? And this is a rigid or fixed wall and this is again a rigid or fixed surface, which is obviously frictionless. Right? Now what we do, we displace this block of mass m by a small displacement x, right? And then we will draw its FBD. So now I am going to draw the FBD of the block m when it is displaced by a small displacement x. There will be a force mg in the downward direction. There will be a normal force in the upward direction, and because the springs must have got elongated, so there will be a force. Let's say the elongation in spring 1 comes out to be x1 and therefore there will be a restoring force k1 x1 in the backward direction towards left, and similarly there will be a restoring force in spring 2. If the elongation in the length of spring 2 is x2, then the restoring force will be k2 x2. Sorry, here we will have k1 x1. Let's say the elongation in the length of spring 1 is x1, so restoring force due to it will be k1 x1. So you can see that both the forces are acting in the same direction, so they will get added and we will have F net, it will be equal to k1 x1 plus k2 x2. Fine. And now this F net can be written as mass into acceleration of the clock. So we will have ma is equal to k1 x1 plus k2 x2. Right? From here you can write down the value of acceleration of the clock, which comes out to be k1 x1 K2 X2 upon M. I hope you have got till here. Please note down till here and then we shall move forward. Right? I hope you have done till here. And now if we compare this equation with A is equal to omega square x. On comparing with A is equal to omega square x, on comparing with A is equal to omega square x, then what we will have? Omega square x should be equal to this thing. So omega square x should be equal to k1 x1 plus k2 x2 upon m. I hope everyone has done till here, right? So this is our expression that we get, right? Now one thing you need to note is that this x1 and x2 will be same. The value of x1 and x2 will be same because the spring, both the springs will get stretched by the same distance, right? If the elongation in this spring is different and the elongation in this spring is different, then this block will become unstable, right? If this spring gets elongated to a much bigger length than the elongation in this spring, then this block of mass M will become unstable. So there has to be the same elongation in both the springs, right? So we will have x1 is equal to x2 is equal to x, let's say, right? So we will have omega square x is equal to k1 plus k2 upon m into x. Now x and x will cancel out. Now I am proceeding from here. So we will have omega square is equal to k1 plus k2 upon m. Now if we replace this system with a this parallel combination of springs with a single equivalent spring, then we will have this. And let's say the spring constant of this equivalent spring is K equivalent. And what will be the value of omega square for this? It will be K equivalent upon M, as we have already seen in the previous derivation. So now if you compare this equation, let's say this is equation 1 and this is equation number 2. Now on comparing these two equations, we will have K equivalent is equal to K1 plus K2. K equivalent is equal to K1 plus K2. This is the spring constant of the equivalent spring. Now what you can do, you can replace this parallel combination of spring with a single spring whose spring constant is K1 plus K2. I hope you have understood this very well. So just you need to note that in this case the elongation or compression in both the springs will be same, right? So please note this down and then we shall move forward. So in parallel combination of spring, the restoring force due to each spring acts in the same direction, right? So you need to remember that. I hope you have copied this and now we are going to proceed further. Now I am going to erase this. Now there is one more way or manner in which this parallel combination of two springs may be represented, and that manner is and this is more commonly asked. There is one question in NCERT also based on this pattern. So this is the rigid surface and the rigid walls, and there is a block of mass M placed like this, and one spring is connected like this, and one spring is connected like this. K2 and K1 are the spring constants. So this is also one manner in which the springs may be connected, and this combination of spring is the parallel combination of the springs. For example, if you displace this block of mass m through a small displacement x in any direction, you can draw the FBD. For example, if we displace this block towards right, this is mass m, and we have displaced it through a small displacement x, right? So now, okay, let me draw the complete picture so that it's more easy for you to understand. Right? So you can see that this spring will get elongated by x. The extension in its length will be x. So this spring will get elongated by x, and therefore there will be a restoring force that acts towards length, which tries to restore the natural length of the spring, and it will be equal to k1x, right? And if you see, when we have displaced this block of mass m towards left, this spring will get compressed by x, and therefore the compression in its length will be equal to x. This spring has got compressed. Now it will try to restore its original length, and therefore it will push this block of mass m towards left, and therefore due to this there is a force in the left direction which is equal to k2x. So you can see that there are two forces in the horizontal direction. The vertical forces will cancel out if we draw the FBD. This is mg and this is normal reaction, which are same and cancels out or balances each other, right? And if you see in the horizontal direction, there are two forces k1x and k2x which are both acting in the same direction. So F net will be equal to k1x plus k2x. So it will be k1 plus k2 into x. And now the derivation proceeds in the same manner as we have done for this. So this is one more representation, and now you can replace the two